My name is Tom Balisle, and I lived in Oklahoma I left here essentially at 17, but I've been back a few times. Worked here, schooled here. The last place I lived was Clebit, a town of, if you want to call it a town, about 500 people, and everybody knew everybody else. Our school was at Battiest. We had a great basketball team, and we took on all comers and beat them. So we felt real good. We enjoyed it, and it's still an enjoyable life. I see places like we saw yesterday, and I remember how we really did and have a good deal. Yeah, my dad was the wood superintendent, and his name was David Preston Balisle. And my mother, she was from Oklahoma. She was half Choctaw. We had a place down by the track in Clebit. She had a 5-acre garden. And we planted, seeded everything, opened the gate, and if anybody in the community needed dinner, they'd come get it. She worked it all the time. Her dad died when she was a year and a half. Her mother died when she was 11. So she went to her aunt's, and she made a maid out of her. She worked all the time. She knew how to do everything. I won't say she enjoyed all of it, but she knew how to do everything. So when my dad married her, and we moved out like that, she was ready to help anybody. They were embarrassed, I guess. She was embarrassed at times, but we tried to make sure she wasn't. But it would affect her. You know, you got ladies that are not Choctaw or Indians, and they probably feel like they're a shade better, you know. She felt it, but she didn't let anybody know it, I guess. And she did her thing, and I think it worked out beautiful. Yeah, it wasn't easy, that's for sure. I worked in it was a grocery store, a general store company, and I started it, wasn't supposed to, I guess, but I was 12 years old in the pharmacy, if you call it we call it drugstore. Unloaded the ice car when it came up. It'd come in that night, and you'd go down and unload it, and you little narrow tray in there, 300-pound cakes of ice. You knew you'd done a half day's work when you unloaded the thing. Then I'd go to school. And then when I come back from school, I'd go back in the store. I worked there pretty steady until I got out of high school. And then I went a lot of places and worked. But the camp I worked in the woods some, and my dad worked every day in the woods. We moved around several times. Yeah, the moving was pretty easy because the houses were built so you could take them apart. In our case, we used trucks, but they used rail a lot too. But they'd take the house apart, load the parts on the trucks, take them up, unload them by part, stick them back together. And you know, it's about as quick as you can get out of one home into another. You could do it in one day if you had to, I guess. It was great. It really was. Well, business is what I wound up in. I started in engineering. Why, I don't know. Traveled a lot. What we had is a dealer organization. We established dealers, and from out on the West Coast, it was crawler tractors with deep tillage equipment. Had all kinds of equipment, but the dealer had a combination of this, where he could sell into the industrial neighborhood or the farmer, and that's what our business was. Yeah, I wanted to be in business, but the reason I chose it was it gave me the opportunity to get into the area of work that I needed to earn the living, make a contribution to the family. I like business. this has contributed to it. I tell you, to live through, I guess you'd call it the timber towns or whatever you call it, but to live through that, you'll learn it's good for you. I don't care if you're a billionaire, it'd be good for you. I would strongly suggest that you get a good ground, know what you're doing in business, and then apply it into the area that you enjoy the most, and share it with other people.